Meanwhile, the NAACP is calling for local regulators to immediately stop Elon Musk's supercomputer project. A letter sent last week to the Health Department and Board of Commissioners for Memphis Light, Gas and Water claims xAI's operations in Southwest Memphis are out of compliance with environmental rules. The civil rights group is now urging them to issue an emergency order for xAI to cease operations completely, saying members of the public have been left in the dark at all phases of the process. Here to talk more about these new revelations is Ted Townsend, President and CEO of the Greater Memphis Chamber. Ted, welcome back. Glad to see you as always. These are some, very important charges being made by the NAACP. Yeah. Ted, how do you address this? How do you respond?
Well, the company has always been forthright in complying with all local, state, federal laws, regulations, and compliance measures. The only fact that they are operating is because that they have checked these things very thoroughly before they even began operations. So we understand the concern, and we have always been attentive to those concerns from the community. I think you're seeing an orchestrated effort to continue to apply pressure on the operations, but the Chamber would be the first to call out any company in our community that wasn't operating within the construct of the laws and regulations that exist today. If those need to change, then I would suggest the elected officials review those and change those. But as of right now, the company is not doing anything that is outside the parameters of what they're permitted to do.
And that's what I would do when I ask you about it. The NAACP also saying the project's pollution could be harmful to nearby residents, especially in Southwest Memphis. What do you say to that?
Well, I can tell you that they're talking about the turbines and the utilization of those turbines, many of which have been decommissioned as the company has committed to doing. Those are temporary at best to begin with, so that they could scale the power to begin with and then not place that on the grid. Moving forward, any turbines that they do use will actually be at 2 parts per million. That's pretty sophisticated, but it is the lowest level of emissions nationally. In other words, if this operation were in California, it would be approved. So we have no reason to believe that what is in the permit that is currently drafted won't be approved based on the current laws and regulations that exist.
Now, Ted, you and I have spoken many times, and I appreciate you being here. Do you think it's just a perception image or perception problem that a lot of people just have with Elon Musk? I was looking at a Washington Post article that was written over the weekend called "A City's Dream Deal Promised Jobs, Money, Then Residents Learn It Was Elon Musk."
Right.
Is the problem Musk?
Well, I think if you think of the criteria there, jobs, have they created them? Absolutely they have. Have they invested in our community? Absolutely they have. They've become our second largest taxpayer, Alex, only behind FedEx. FedEx has been here 5 decades. They've been here less than a year, and they're already our second largest taxpayer. They have not received any incentives. There are no offsets. So that new revenue coming into Memphis and Shelby County can be reinvested back into the community. When you have Mayor Young considering a resolution where 25% of that revenue goes into zip code 38109, that's exciting to us. We want to see that directional investment in our community through the work of recruiting and attracting industry like this. So with xAI's investment and many others that are coming our way now as a result of that, I think that's going to lift our economy.
Do you think, though, some of those jobs, especially if some of the individuals are trained, can benefit people in Southwest Memphis, in South Memphis, in Memphis and Shelby County as a whole?
Well, we love to deal with facts, and I will give you a data point right now. Out of the 300 employees that xAI has right now, 82% of those are Memphians. They pay at Palo Alto rates, which for our audience needs to understand that is high wages. I mean, most of the people in that facility are making 6 figures. So we are changing family trees. We are changing household incomes through adding artificial intelligence as a critical industry sector to our community. It's a good investment.
Before we run out of time, I do have to ask you about data centers. Seems like we're having more and more here. The city of West Memphis, right across the river from downtown Memphis and the city as a whole. Apparently about to land Google.
Yes.
What's happening here? What does this mean, though? What's the big picture?
Well, while that project has not been officially announced, I know there was a news article, and we have been working that project with officials in Arkansas. So we're very excited about a $10 billion investment in a data center coming into our region. The Digital Delta is what we call it. But what's interesting, Alex, is last week I was actually featured in Texas at their Venture forum where I was on a panel that was talking about the fastest rising areas in the country for innovation. And I was there with Arizona and Texas, and it was Memphis. And they wanted to know about XAI and Google coming into our community. And we were just on the phone with another tech company today, talking with their leadership about their presence here. And they're
ready to tell us who they are?
I'm not, but we're very excited, and they're coming in next week to solidify some things. So more jobs, more investment, and again, it's adding to that narrative that Memphis is a great global tech hub.
So one way or the other, people are talking about Memphis, Tennessee.
We're on the national stage. We absolutely are. This is one of the hottest markets right now. We've got a team at Area Development now. They're recruiting more industry here. So we are absolutely on everyone's radar when they're considering investment, especially tech companies.
Ted Townsend, always good to see you.
Thank you, Alex.
All right, we'll continue this conversation.
Thank you.
And we're going to take a break. We'll be back.